Now at 9, elementary students in Columbus, Kansas get to see their creations come to life. Plus, kids in Pittsburgh take part in a competition using their skills and some Legos. And the Empire Market in Joplin celebrates National Seed Day with various events.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy. A Newton County woman is dead after crashing into a Walmart supercenter. It happened yesterday afternoon by the Walmart on 1701 South Kansas Road in Newton County. Authorities say the car crashed through the wall of the Vision Center. The driver, Wanda Hoyle of Newton County, was pronounced dead at the scene. No one else was injured in the crash. 3 Dunwich firefighters were presented life-saving awards related to a call from October 7th. Met's Battalion Chief Kyle Jackson honored Lieutenant J. Wells, firefighter Billy Jocelyn, and firefighter Greg Schrum this week at the fire station. The call was for an unconscious male. The crew arrived to Lockhart Street in Dunwich before an ambulance taking over CPR in progress. The man survived despite medically dying 3 times on the scene and 3 on the way to the hospital. The crew met with the man privately, who continues his recovery. Meteorologist Katie Frazier joins us with the first look at weather.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Here's what you can expect over the next couple of days. First, we are looking at overnight fog to develop. It will start to develop over the next couple of hours, lasting through the early morning hours tomorrow. It will also be cold enough to support freezing fog, which could lead to some slick spots tomorrow morning. Warmer temperatures, though, are ahead, and we're also expecting a quiet week of weather. So something to look forward to. Now, taking a look over downtown Joplin right now, it is cloudy. We're not seeing fog as of yet, but it is expected to move on into our area or start to develop over the next couple of hours. That rain we had earlier on today, that is also pushing on out of our area, spinning into the Midwest. We are going to be dry over the next several days, but here's what you can expect temperature-wise if you are going to be heading out over the next couple of hours. It will be in the 30s, so certainly chilly out there, and you'll want to be careful if you're out very late because the fog will start to develop. I'll have more details on who will see fog and how long it'll last coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Katie. The Pittsburgh State School of Construction and the Southeast Kansas chapter of the National Association of Women in Construction teamed up today for an annual Block Kids contest. The purpose of the event is to challenge elementary school kids to build a small construction project out of Legos. Prizes were awarded for first, second, and third place in each class.
It's pretty gratifying to watch the kids, and you know, one of the other professors came in here and says, "Man, it's really quiet." And I said, "Yeah, they're really focused on what they're doing. They're really, into that, and trying to show us their creativity."
The grand champion of the event received a safety helmet, vest, and custom construction t-shirts. A school project is bringing kindergartners and high schoolers together in Columbus, Kansas. High schoolers took drawings Park Elementary made of their favorite farm animal and turned them into a personalized stuffed animal. The initiative is part of the Family and Consumer Sciences class and has been happening for the last 3 years. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
This looks just like the same as my picture.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Why do you like it?
Because turkeys are one of my favorite kind of birds.
Morgan is one of many Park Elementary School students who were lucky to see his drawing become a real stuffed animal.
Look, it's as big as my hands. See that? But my hand, when I put my hands on it, it looks like it has a beak.
That happened thanks to a project led by Family and Consumer Science teacher Melissa Smiley.
I wanted something that the kids, that it was more creative with them and it showed their personality more.
Their personalities are shown not only by what they choose to draw,
what do you have on your head?
Cow.
but also by how they choose to do it.
He had brown eyes and he never opened.
You get to see some kids follow the traditional farm route, like pink pigs, brown horses, and then you get to see like some others that are like rainbow and stuff like that.
According to the teachers involved, the project is a learning moment for all grades.
Help them out with make sure it has 4 legs and ears, and then at the bottom we write what it is to help the kids, the girls that are sewing, know what it is.
It teaches the simple techniques of hand sewing and like the plain seams on the sewing machine, and how to turn the things inside out and stuff them and fix holes and things like that.
But these students' favorite part is not drawing nor sewing. It is delivering and receiving their collaborative creations.
I drew a sheep and I like it because I can sleep with it and it has fur and it looks silly.
Giving them back to the kids, like seeing their face light up and seeing them smile is really fun. And I like how some of the older kids are working with some of the younger kids to make a connection through our community.
A connection the high schoolers hope the Park Elementary students will enjoy and keep. In Columbus, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Kindergartners drew the animals as part of their farm unit. Today is National Seed Day, and the Empire Market in Joplin celebrated with a seed swap as a way to showcase the community garden. It included natives, pollinators, herbs, veggies, and fruits. Attendees were also able to learn some gardening tips from master naturalists and master gardeners.
Today I'm out here hunting for native plants and some things that I can grow in my garden. I would love to meet some other people who are interested in things like permaculture.
The Seed Swap is an annual event and takes place every National Seed Day. The 4 States Greenhouse also took part in National Seed Day with the Create Your Own Pet Succulent event. Locals were invited to build their own pet planter succulent, choosing from a variety of animal-themed pots. The 4 States Greenhouse says it's a fun way to add some greenery to your living space.
I've been a gardener since I was a child. My grandmother got me into gardening, but it's really about the passion of sharing the love and joy of nature and gardening with others.
Today's event was $15 per person. Later, can vitamin C actually help prevent the common cold? We'll take a look. Measles cases are on the rise. That's according to an alert issued Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC is warning health providers to be on alert following several outbreaks, largely among unvaccinated children. Health officials have tracked nearly 24 cases of the virus since December. This comes as vaccination rates have dropped in the U.S. According to a CDC report, the country reached a record level of vaccine exemptions last school year. You've probably heard that taking vitamin C can prevent or relieve a common cold. So is there any truth to it? Well, Mandy Gaither separates fact from fiction and has more with a doctor on how to stay healthy this respiratory virus season.
When it comes to the common cold, it's a story that's passed through generations. Vitamin C can prevent or cure symptoms, but is it fact or fiction?
Vitamin C is not a silver bullet. It's not gonna be magical and get you just over this cold.
Dr. Jesse Bracamonte with Mayo Clinic says that while there's no research proving vitamin C can stop you from getting or feeling sick, there are some studies which suggest it may help relieve symptoms sooner, but only by about 10%. Regardless, he says vitamin C is an important part of health.
It helps collagen formation. It helps tissues heal. It helps protein and muscle form and stay healthy. It helps your immune system work well. So that's what vitamin C does.
It's found in foods like citrus fruits, berries, peppers, tomatoes, and broccoli.
The average orange has about 50 milligrams of vitamin C. So an orange, a strawberry, some of that, just nature's way of getting vitamin C should be enough to sustain you.
If you want to get more vitamin C, Bracamonte says supplements may be helpful, but to see a doctor before taking them.
Too much of anything is not a good thing.
And if you're looking for relief from a cold, you may just need some patience.
I just tell people old-fashioned thyme, rest, chicken soup can also be the best medicine.
Katie is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, we'll take a look at AI-powered shopping carts and how they could change the way we grocery shop.
Good evening and happy Saturday to you all. It's been a chilly day across the 4 states, and right now the feels like temperatures are really feeling like the 20s. So even though the air temperature is in the 30s, it's feeling a bit cooler than that just because we do have some winds blowing around our region right now. But I did mention fog is expected overnight tonight through the early morning hours tomorrow. So I wanted to talk about some fog ingredients. Now, clear nights, that is typically a good ingredient to get that radiation fog, which can turn really thick, but we're not really expected to have clear nights overnight tonight, but we will have the chance of seeing calm winds. We do have moist air and our soils are saturated after seeing rain over the past couple of hours. So here's what we're looking at as far as our future track model, and we're not expecting any more rain, but we are expecting quiet weather, just that fog to develop late tonight, early tomorrow morning as well. Take a look at the temperatures by tomorrow, 5:30. It will be in the low 30s, maybe feeling a little colder than that, out and about. And then throughout your day tomorrow, we will have clearing skies from west to east, and temperatures will be warmer tomorrow than they were today, with them reaching the mid-40s by about lunchtime tomorrow, and then by the afternoon we should be in the upper 40s. So a little bit better tomorrow, and then we'll get even better every single day for this upcoming week. The only thing you have to worry about is that fog developing late tonight through the early morning hours of tomorrow. Speaking of fog, let's get into it. So here's a look at our visibility tracker. It just lets us know, will we have good visibility or will we have poor? And the lower the number gets, that means the poorer the visibility will be. So as we move into the overnight hours, as you can see, by early tomorrow morning, many locations getting down to possibly a 1/10 of a mile. That means you can't really see too far out in front of you due to the fog that will be forming tomorrow. It might not be that thick everywhere, but as you can see, most places will have a chance of seeing some fog tomorrow. Due to the temperatures being around the freezing mark, that could also lead to some freezing fog to develop. So if you're headed out early on tomorrow morning, really early, just make sure you're very careful driving over bridges. It will last through the early morning hours, but then I do think by lunchtime tomorrow it should be out of your area and you should have a nice Sunday in store. So speaking of fog and freezing fog tips, of course you always want to drive with caution, even if we don't have fog, any type of weather you want to drive with caution. But specifically with fog, never turn on your brights. It actually makes it worse to see what's in front of you. Bridges and overpasses could be slick tomorrow morning, once again due to that freezing fog. It actually helps those areas that are open to freeze. That cold air gets below it and it could help it become a little bit slick. So also leave space between you and the other cars around you because you just don't want to risk it, especially if you do go over a slick spot. Tomorrow, if you're going to have a lazy Sunday, temperatures outside will be in the 40s with that AM fog. Winds will be light tomorrow. And if you're going to be watching the Kansas City Chiefs anywhere around 2 o'clock, once again, mid-40s for you. Hopefully a great day for a win. Your 7-day forecast looks like this with just that fog tomorrow morning, but temperatures warming up 10 degrees between Sunday and Monday, and look at all week long. We will be enjoying the 50-degree temperatures. We don't get another chance for rain until all the way of this next weekend, so enjoy it.
Coming up, a bipartisan Senate deal in the works.
A deal to help slow illegal border crossings could be unveiled soon, and it's already facing huge hurdles. I'm CB Cotton in New York with that story coming up.
You can check AI off your grocery list. Instacart's AI-powered smart cart is rolling out at select grocery stores. Fox Business correspondent Jerry Willis takes a look at the new tech.
But I think of Instacart as home delivery, but you've got a whole new system here. Tell me how you're using AI to help shoppers.
That's absolutely right. So we're hearing from a lot of our users that they love shopping online, they love the personalization, they love the convenience, but they also shop in store. Caper, which is an AI-powered shopping cart that makes shopping seamless, bag as you go, skip the line, but it also does valuable things like displaying on-screen totals so you can keep track of how much you're spending. It shows you discounts, deals, coupons, new products, and recommendations, things that really help you build your basket and stay on budget.
Show me how this would work in store.
Absolutely. So we're going to hit the Start Shopping button. I'm going to skip the tutorial since we both shopped this before. And you can see right here the screen that on the right-hand side shows everything that's in my cart. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a bar here, put that right into the cart, cart lights up green to tell me, and you'll see that it's in the cart with the price and my total at the top. You've got 4 cameras facing upwards, and they're all AI and computer vision powered, so they detect items instantly as we put them in the cart. So the entire cart is a scale, so that makes it easy to weigh produce. But that sensor data from the scale also factors into how we recognize items in the cart. And so really what we're doing is we're making shopping an adventure for the entire family, leveraging the power of AI to make the experience seamless and personalized.
In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
A new survey points to some aspirations of younger generations, and the goals aren't exactly altruistic. A Credit Karma survey says younger generations of millennials and Gen Zers are obsessed with being rich. 44% of Gen Zers and 46% of millennials are pursuing wealth as their goal, with half or more of both groups say they're behind in getting there. Financial experts say social media influencers and freedom their parents didn't have are factors in the wealth pursuit. New data shows a startling figure on how much debt Americans are swallowed up by. A Lending Tree report says Americans are shelling out about $1,583 a month just on servicing their debt owed as consumers. That's up from $1,233 a month in 2020. Mortgages at $1,855, car payments at $690, and personal loans at $517 are the 3 biggest categories, followed by student loans and credit card minimum payments. Your chance to score a free pizza during this year's Super Bowl game. Up next. In Missouri, a disturbing investigation is underway after 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans were found dead outside a home earlier this month. Now, after 2 weeks, it's still unclear how exactly they died. Whitney Wild reports.
More than 2 weeks after 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old David Harrington, and 36-year-old Clayton McGeeney were found dead in the back of a Kansas City home, there are few details and frustration is growing. Adriana Juarez, who shares a child with Ricky Johnson, says she feels too many questions remain about how long it took to find the 3 friends.
How do you not know there's 3 dead bodies?
According to CNN affiliate KMBC, the 3 men visited a friend's home, a rented house in northwest Kansas City, after the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Los Angeles Chargers January 7th. 2 days later, a worried fiancée who hadn't heard from her loved one looked for him at the home. According to police, when there was no answer at the door, she broke into the basement of the residence and found a dead body on the back porch. When police arrived, they discovered 2 more bodies in the backyard. CNN is not naming the friend because he hasn't been accused of a crime or charged in the deaths. His attorney, John Paserno.
In the early morning hours, Jordan, around 2 a.m., he believes, he got sleepy. He said, I'm going to crash on the couch. And he said goodbye to his buddies, and he thought that they left out the front door.
Kansas City police are waiting on autopsies and toxicology reports to determine how the men died. At this point, police consider this a death investigation, not homicide, noting it is still the case that no foul play was observed or suspected. Johnson's niece, Stephanie Walling, said they want answers and some sense of closure.
I never thought it would get as much attention as it has. I mean, I'm hoping that with the attention that it is getting, that it will get us closer to getting answers.
Former President Donald Trump rallies with voters in Nevada ahead of next month's Republican caucus. Trump visiting Las Vegas this weekend just a day after a New York jury ordered him to pay $83.3 million in damages to columnist E. Jean Carroll for defaming her. Despite his legal troubles, Trump continues to be the frontrunner in the GOP primary race. His main rival, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, also held a dueling campaign event in the city today. President Biden is spending the weekend in South Carolina trying to drum up support before next Saturday's Democratic primary. He'll be attending a fundraising dinner and a political event. Support from Black voters in the Palmetto State is credited with turning the tide for Mr. Biden in the last presidential election. The chief executive is expected to easily win the primary, but he's not likely to carry the solidly red state in November. No Democrat has carried South Carolina since 1976. A bipartisan border agreement backed by President Biden is coming together in the Senate, but some Republicans are pushing back. Biden contends that this new legislation is crucial for achieving a more stringent border control. Fox News correspondent CB Cotton has the details.
Fresh signs of a bipartisan Senate border deal emerging on Capitol Hill, with negotiators reaching an agreement on at least one key area, granting the Biden administration the authority to shut down the southern border if migrant crossings reach a certain level. They are also settling on a provision to speed up the process for migrants seeking asylum.
It gives President Biden expanded authority to shut down illegal crossings, and it also allows him to allocate more resources for due process with immigration judges and magistrates for those coming here through legal ports of entry. This is a win-win.
But there are still major questions lingering on whether enough Republicans will line up to back the package, especially now that former President Donald Trump has urged Republicans to reject any compromise in order to prevent President Biden from a political victory. The details of the legislation are still being hammered out, with negotiators planning on working through the weekend.
We haven't seen any text or language about the deal. I've been very, very solid in my response of I will not vote for anything that makes illegal legal.
A sign of the challenges that remain, House Speaker Mike Johnson is calling the deal dead on arrival in the House. And without some GOP backing, Congress will leave critical aid to both Ukraine and Israel hanging in the balance.
That this is going to be a political football probably for the next 12 months and potentially going farther.
Lawmakers plan on releasing the bill text early next week. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
A new survey suggests Gen Zers are the worst generation to get behind the wheel. DiGiorno is giving pizza lovers and sports fans a chance to score a free pizza during this year's Super Bowl game. Here's how it works. During the big game, if a field goal or extra point attempt hits an upright or crossbar, causing a doink, some lucky people will be chosen in a random drawing and will receive a coupon redeemable for a free DiGiorno pizza. Fans can sign up beginning February 1st up until the day of the game on February 11th. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, unanswered questions and an ongoing investigation after 3 Chiefs fans were found dead in their friend's Kansas City home.
Good evening, everyone. Today was certainly a good day to stay indoors, and tomorrow might be as well. I know I always appreciate a lazy Sunday. I'll have your lazy Sunday forecast here in just a moment, but just reviewing on what we saw today, we did have a high of 38 degrees, so several degrees below average here. The good news is we are going to be warming up very quickly over the next couple of days. We had some rain in and around our area earlier on today. It is now pushing on out into the Midwest, so we're not expecting rain actually for the next several days. It doesn't even look like it'll return until next weekend. So even though I'm going to show you our future track rain model, you're not going to see any rain. You're just going to be looking at clouds and really just look at the temperatures so you could see what is it going to be feeling like. Later on tonight, temperatures in the 30s, that will be the air temperature. The feels like temperatures might be a little bit cooler just because we do have some light winds blowing out there. Clouds will be clearing out overnight tonight and temperatures will drop down to the low 30s, upper 20s across the region. By tomorrow afternoon, we will have temperatures back in the 40s, and then we'll even be approaching 50 degrees throughout the afternoon tomorrow, and then by your Monday, we're looking much better with temperatures back in the 50s. However, there is one thing that could bother your day tomorrow, at least your morning, and that will be some fog that's supposed to develop over the next couple of hours and last through to early tomorrow as well. So visibility, you're looking at statute miles of how far you can see. So the higher the number, the better, because that's how far you could see. 10 miles is perfect, but as you start getting those lower numbers, that means, you can't see as far in front of you. So as we move throughout the overnight hours, look at how these numbers are dropping across the entire region. You could see by early tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, places getting down to a half mile or even a tenth of a mile of visibility. So it's going to be very hard to see in some locations because the fog could be a little bit thick. Now you're also seeing slippery out there. That's because temperatures will be around the freezing mark or below. And whenever we have below freezing temperatures, that could lead to freezing fog. Here are some tips because we could have that develop tonight. Drive with caution. Of course, you always want to do that, but especially don't use your brights whenever you have fog. So if you're heading out tonight, don't use them because it'll make it harder for you to see what's in front of you. Bridges and overpasses could be slick tomorrow morning as well, just due to that freezing fog, making it a little bit slippery on other roads as well, and leave some space between you and other cars in front of you. If you are having a lazy Sunday, temperatures will be in the 40s, so still a little bit on the cool side. Of course, you'll want a jacket. Light winds tomorrow with that AM fog across the region, and if you're watching the Chiefs play, mid-40s will be your temperatures with mostly sunny skies and a nice day if you do want to do anything outside. But really, warmer temperatures are on the way as soon as Monday, close to 60 degrees. That'll be quite nice, lasting all the way through your Friday. So certainly a nice week of weather in store. We have our next rain chances, though, returning on Saturday and Sunday, although I'll tell you, it's not looking too likely, but you want to stay tuned with us here.
Coming up in sports, the Kansas City Chiefs hit the road for Baltimore ahead of the AFC Championship game. Plus, Pitt State men's and women's basketball saw 2 career day performances. Sports reporter Brock Baldridge joins us with the highlights and more up next. The last piano played by Prince and an antique guitar destroyed during a filming of a major motion picture are on display at a music event this weekend. Rick Damagella has this story in the Hollywood Minute.
This purple Yamaha is the last piano ever played by Prince before he died in 2016. This Martin guitar, built in 1870, was damaged while filming the movie The Hateful Eight. These are things you can only see at the 2024 NAMM show. The National Association of Music Merchants is holding its annual winter convention in the month of January for the first time since 2020.
Getting back after all the disruption, this is a time that our industry will end up stronger. We know there's more music makers today than there ever have been before, and we as an industry will continue to make those music makers.
Musicians take center stage at the event, from performing,
just like being around a bunch of people who care as much as you do, and being surrounded by the tools that allow you to just continue to grow and get better at your craft,
to talking about instruments bearing their seal of approval.
Sometimes you want to go berserk and go from all the way down, all the way up, and have total freedom of what you hear in your mind, how to express it, how to translate it to a guitar.
Incredibly cool guitars can be seen, made from aged wood or brass.
This series is based on some wood that we've been collecting and curing in the air drying for over 25 years, which makes these guitars sound just fantastic. The Swamp Dog is a Recording King metal body resonator. Metal, but it's actually bell brass, and we finished it with this almost patinaed look, which just makes it look like it just got pulled out of Louisiana swamp and on the porch playing.
To one made from materials from the childhood home of Jimi Hendrix, valued at $44,000.
This piece is an acoustic guitar created from woods and other items from Jimi Hendrix's family home, childhood home. So the whole instrument is made out of either baseboard, flooring, nails, paint chips.
In Anaheim, California, I'm Rick Damagella.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with the video of river otters swimming. A recent study shows Gen Z as the riskiest drivers in the entire country, revealing them as the most crash-prone group on our roads. Fox's Samantha Spitz has more.
A lot to take in here. When talking about Gen Z, this is referring to those born between 1997 and 2005, so those ages 18 to 26, which is also the youngest generation out on the road with the least amount of experience.
At Drive Safe in Highlands Ranch, Jake Dinwiddie spends hours on end with the next generation of drivers.
But it's not just teaching our students the rules of the road, it's also teaching them the consequences.
of what could go poorly, what would happen if you make bad decisions.
Drivers 18 to 26 had the highest incident rate, the most driving citations, and the highest number of DUIs, according to a new study by LendingTree.
I think experience in any facet, anything that someone does, more experience is going to lead to better results. And when we look at this from adults on up, this is the youngest adults out there on the road. So they realistically have the least amount of experience.
Less experience, more likely to take risk, and prone to distracted driving are just a few factors experts say may be to blame.
From speeding to red light running to drunk and impaired driving to distracted driving, all of these are selfish choices that actually we're paying the price for.
Skylar McKinley with AAA says Colorado has the second highest car insurance premiums in the country, largely due to the effects of the pandemic, rising costs of cars, and the increase in deaths on the road over the years.
Typically, year-over-year fatalities and serious injuries should decrease because cars are getting safer. What we're seeing in the data is that's not happening right now in Colorado or across the country.
While getting into a single crash isn't guaranteed to raise your rate, preventing the situation altogether by practicing safe driving habits could lead to a brighter future on the roads.
So we are paying for these things, we're paying for these behaviors, and we'd probably pay less if we chose to think about others when we're on the roadways.
The last piano played by an iconic musician is now on display. We'll have the details up next.